His neighbors muttered their concerns to one another. Why was he being so stubborn? What would happen to him? Imagine going to prison over something as absurd as a name. Much to his annoyance, people began to call him Wilhelmus van der Al, meaning of the eel, in the hopes that he would come around to it. Of course, we eels would have had no objection to him taking our name in this way. No more than the brooks could have cared about Johann's claims, or the thread spooled in Anki's baskets could mind hers. What humans do with their brief lives has little effect on those of us who know in our feathered bones that we will outlast their affairs. But we did wonder what would become of this obstinate man. You see, we had developed an abiding respect for each other, hunter and hunted. Always he would lovingly release the elvers, our young, and we admired his exquisite, hand-carved traps. "Not a bad way to go," we joked. "Better than getting snatched by an osprey or gobbled up by a raccoon." Dignity is essential to eels, as it was, we saw then, to Wilhelmus. When the new year arrived, the emissaries of Emperor Bonaparte returned to Dorp in their fine blue woolen coats, their red collars embroidered with gold. The Frenchmen came to the village square and diligently recorded the names presented by each head of household. At last, they came to Wilhelmus. When he informed them that he would not choose a name, he was promptly arrested. For his disobedience, Wilhelmus was sentenced to a year's imprisonment. The emperor's men said that if he still refused to pick a name upon his release, he would be assigned one of their choosing. "Van der Al is a fine name," they said. "When people hear it, they'll think of your eels, and come to buy more and more." His eels. We admit we did coil briefly at the audacity of those words. Still, our friend refused. "They buy enough. Besides, I'm the only Wilhelmus in my village." "Yes, but you are one of 100 Wilhelmuses now in our empire. We must know which is which and who is who." "But why?" he asked. "I can think of nothing good coming of it." The jailers ignored him. "Don't you want your children to know where they come from? How should they be stuck with my name forever? Think of it, they'll never be free." But Wilhelmus saw now that he was already not free, and that his future children would not be either. They'd be subjects of this empire, or the next one, or the one after that. And beyond was history itself, burdening and constraining them always. He saw the past and the future stretching away, twinned horrors, time immemorial, time inescapable. Wilhelmus swore. "No, I will not choose." He faced his year in confinement nobly, patiently, and with the dignity that we had come to expect from him. Still, we eels assumed Wilhelmus would be assigned to us in the end. Even he was prepared to finally become Van der Al. But his jailers had another punishment in mind. After his sentence ended, they declared their prisoner would henceforth bear the name Wilhelmus Nachtgeboren, which meant born naked, a mark of shame that must now pass on to his children and theirs. In disgrace, Wilhelmus returned to the little village of Dorp. And many there did say it served him right, though already a few were feeling regretful over their chosen names, beginning to realize what Wilhelmus had seen right away, that they would be stuck with what they'd selected for their whole lives. Even worse, so would their descendants be, forever. Quietly, Wilhelmus returned to his fishing boat, and to carving his traps. But we could tll that his spirit had been broken. The care he'd once taken with his work had slipped away. History had come down on him. Indeed, his very soul seemed to have been extracted from him, leaving a hollowed man to go through the motions of daily life without joy or anger or sorrow or any true feeling at all. Deep inside the four chambers of our Venus hearts, we mourned the loss of his once noble spirit. By now our passing appreciation for this obstinate man had become a kind of entanglement. For refusing to be of us and not taking us as his name, he now suffered. Name a man anything you like, we thought, but what is he without a soul? Truly, we were not alone in feeling for his loss. Soon a young woman fell in love with Wilhelmus, and his dead eyes again began to brighten. Gusta, a great beauty, was eager to discard de Witt, the name that her father, a silver-haired peddler, had chosen. Spring arrived, and at the tulip festival, Wilhelmus asked her to marry him, begging forgiveness for his stubborn